City, what is going on? Yeah. My name is Shawn the Butcher. I'm from SiriusXM Liquid Metal. Ozzy's Boneyard hails from the crypt. And it is an honor to be your host for this evening's festivities for the Revolver magazine, Liquid Metal, Body Count, Carnivore listening party. Give it up! Yes. Body Count have been around for decades now. They are making music with groove, with eye-opening real-life stories, and they don't give a fuck who they offend in the process. And they are led by a living legend. He is a world-famous rapper, world-famous actor, SVU, New Jack City, oh my God. New York, I want you to give it up for the king of Twitter, the OG, Ice motherfucking T.
The king of Twitter.
Hell yeah. One of the only reasons to have Twitter. Thank you for doing this, Ice.
Thank you, man.
The new album is incredible. Body Count is on a roll. I want to know, where did it start for you, your love for heavy metal? You've been in this for
Are we
a
gonna
while.
go there?
Yeah, absolutely. Where did the love for heavy metal for Ice-T begin?
It started with me when I lost my mother and father. I would move to Los Angeles to live with my aunt. And my cousin thought he was Jimi Hendrix. I had to share a bedroom with a guy who actually thought he was Jimi Hendrix. He played no instruments. He would tie scarves around and stuff, and there were 2 radio stations in LA, KMET and KLOS, and I couldn't touch his radio. So I was forced to listen to just nothing but rock. Now, all music is an acquired taste. If you work in a Jamaican restaurant, eventually a week later, you'll know particular songs. 2 weeks, you'll pick out your favorites. So now I'm listening to everything from Edgar Winter to J. Giles Band, Mott the Hoople, Traffic, Boston. I know all rock and roll, all the way across from Neil Young to, just everything. I can do rock trivia with a motherfucker. So I started to migrate toward the heavier stuff. I liked Blue Oyster Cult. I liked, of course, Deep Purple. But my favorite was Black Sabbath. And I got that first Black Sabbath album with the bell, with the rain.
50 years.
And I would watch that, I would listen to that over and over again. So next I got the Paranoid album, and I would follow Black Sabbath, Iron Man, the whole shit, all the way out. And so when I started to rap, I would use Black Sabbath breaks on my record. I think there's one song behind the wall of, what is it?
Behind the Wall of Sleep.
Behind the Wall of Sleep. And there's a break beat when it goes, dun, 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 it comes at the very end of the record, and we would scratch that and rap over it. So I was like, okay, now all the kids I was around, they were listening to Parliament, James Brown, groups like that. But I knew a little bit more about rock. And when I got my first rap album, the first hook on the first song, Rhyme Pace, is War Pigs. So a lot of times when Body Count finally did come out, people were like, oh, well, you're jumping into rock. I'm like, well, why would a rapper, the title cut of his first album, have a Black Sabbath hook? That doesn't make sense unless he already knew what the fuck he was doing.
Been in rock for a while.
Yeah, so I've always had enough, I like my type of rock, and I've watched it morph and grow into different zones, but I always like the more hard shit.
Well, like Body Count is bringing the hard shit. 3 decades, essentially,
yes, sir,
of Body Count. 30 years. How does it feel for you being in this heavy metal band, coming up as an OG rapper, and now having this metal band, for 30 years? What has that experience been like with you for Body Count and the growth of this monster?
Well, Body Count was just created to let Ernie play. When I was in high school, Ernie C. was running around with a guitar during nutrition, doing concerts, playing Peter Frampton. He created his own flash pots for 150 Crips. Like, they're like, what the fuck is this dude doing? Like, but they knew he had talent, but they didn't know what he was playing, but they didn't beat him up. They was like, yo, this motherfucker's crazy, but he's bad. So I knew Ernie could play. This was in high school. So as I'm on my rap career, Ice-T jumped off first, so I would tour Europe with Public Enemy. And when they would go up-tempo, the kids would mosh off of Terror Dome and shit. I'm like, yo, that shit is fire. You know, and anybody who's ever performed, playing in front of a mosh pit is the most exciting shit in the world. So I was like, you know what? What if I made a rock band so we could just really turn this shit up? So I came back, I told Ernie, I said, yo, we got to make a fucking rock band. I said, fuck, take that off. Now, you got to remember, when Body Count came out, like Pantera was wearing like spandex and shit. Like everybody had hair and shit. So I was, my guys, we at the hood, we don't really feel comfortable in a rock band. But I'm like, we're gonna dress like us. Fuck that. We're just dressed like us, but we're gonna mix Sabbath with Suicidal. Now, Suicidal was already out.
Legends. And
Suicidal had brought the Venice gangster style. They had a big blue rag behind the stage, and Mike and them already had it. So I'm like, okay, so we go with the Suicidal punk style, and then we'll just try to bring the speed of Slayer. Now, I was connected to Slayer because Rick Rubin produced Slayer. And Rick Rubin had done the Beastie Boys shit, so I heard the first Slayer album ahead of time, Glenn Friedman, let me hear that. So I'm like, he's like, well, Slayer, Tom and them are connected to Suicidal. It's like, it's a big, weird loop. If people don't know that, if you look in the institutionalized video, you see Tom walk by in the Suicidal video. So everybody's like kind of connected. So I was like, fuck it. Let's do that. So we started trying to make songs, and the songs we made up the first album, the Cop Killer album.
Controversy. Yeah.
KKK, bitch, Mama's Gotta Die Tonight, and Voodoo, and Evil Dick, and just so, you know. And my thing was always like, I finally found a name for Body Count, which is Grindhouse. It's like a Grindhouse movie. It's so violent that if you're not getting the joke, it'll scare the shit out of you. When you listen to some of this shit, you like, Ice is crazy. Like, you know, like, I mean, KKK, bitch, I mean, is that serious? No. So there's a touch of humor, but then at the same time, it's dead serious about a topic. Like on this new album. Have they heard the new album yet? Have you played it?
We're going, once we wrap up here, we're gonna blast
the
new album.
There's a song called Critical Beatdown, which is fucking stupid, but it's dope, but it's funny, but it's real. Like, I wanna beat motherfuckers up on the internet. So think of Body Count as Grindhouse. Like when the guy runs to his car, he doesn't pull out a gun, he pulls out a rocket launcher. That's Body Count.
Nice.
It's overkill, but it sounds crazy. That's what, and the humor in it. Mama Gotta Die Tonight, KKK, bitch, all those songs, talk shit, get shot. You know, if you take that serious, then you're missing the point of Body Count, you know?
It's on a Cannibal Corpse type of level, you know?
Yeah, I come blood.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, and some people don't get it, and fuck them, you know, but
that's
you
metal.
know, the fans, they understand it, and they can extract the important things, they can extract the fun shit, they can extract the bullshit. They're smart.
There's a lot of important messages in Body Count's music as well.
Absolutely. So, and my thing also was never to allow us to be pigeonholed into a style. Like, some of our stuff is punk, some of our stuff is thrash, some of our stuff now, they said, oh, we got that Carnivore, they call it grindcore, the crunch. But I like all that shit. So like if we start playing, I'm like, yo, that shit's dope. We just make it. We don't allow us to say we're stuck in this box. You know, we're just a band, you know, and I don't like labels any fucking way.
Well, you've been around a while. You've got a lot going on. I got to put you on the spot. Do you have a favorite thing to do? Rapping, acting, or throwing down with Body Count?
I think nothing is more fun than live performance after a lot of rest, not just live performance. See, live performance can turn into a nightmare too. When you're about to hit the stage and it's 110 degrees and you can't break and you're tired and the bus ride was there and you're just like, God damn it, like I can't go on stage. And you hear your intro music and you're still in the bottom of the bunk and you're like, yo, they're fucking on stage. And you come on stage and damn near die. We put ice buckets on the side of the water so we can plunge our fists into the ice. It freezes your core. I was out with Gore. Thought I was about to, and I was gonna die, and I didn't have on that big costume. Yep. And I'm like, yo, this shit. So sometimes you really are very close to death on stage. I've touched people and electrocuted myself, like, you know, you get the shock from the mic and all. It's crazy, but I mean, you know, when you get to be big like Metallica and you do one show a week and you come from the Four Seasons and you just hit the stage. I mean, but when you start doing those one-nighters, it's rough. But I don't think there's anything in the world better than being a rock star. That, especially when you gain the fans and you can just literally stand up there in front of thousands of people and be like, I'm gonna get a glass of water, and make them wait for you to drink the water, and they fucking cheer that shit.
Every second of
every word that is hanging on it, that's the shit. I mean, that's why when Obama was president, they like, he's a rock star. I mean, whenever somebody's doing shit great, they go, he's a rock star, because that's it. That's it. So acting is fun. Acting is fun. I mean, I'm a very fortunate person. I get to do all the things people dream about doing simultaneously. I get to rap, I get to rock, I get to do TV, I get to do movies, I get to do all this shit. So I'm very lucky, but I'm aware of that. I don't take any of this shit for granted. I mean, at the end of the day, you're an entertainer. At the end of the day. I could probably tell a good joke too, you know?
I mean, don't make me put you on the spot or anything.
My jokes will clear this house. But anyway.
I want to talk about the brand new album, Carnival.
Let's talk.
This Friday, March 6th. Make sure you pick it up. You know, it is an incredible album, and you once again teamed up with my metal god, Will Putney, fit for an autopsy. And yeah, shout outs to Will Putney. If you're watching, hi Will, I love you with all my heart, man.
Will Putney is not a motherfucking joke. And you know, I call him the Dr. Dre of metal, and that's amazing. About the highest accolade I could give him. When we signed to Sumerian, Ash was like, yo, we need a young producer. I'm like, I have no problems with a young producer. And I met Will, he drove over the house. And the thing about it is he understood the band. And to be a good producer, you know, you're doing Thy Art Is Murder, you're doing over here Fit for an Autopsy. He can't make us sound like them, but he's gotta make us sound as good as we can at what we are. That's a great producer. You know, so he could take our songs and just make them louder and better and bigger. And then also he's a guitar player. So you'll come in and you'll hear some other shit. He'd be like, where'd that come from? He's like, you like it? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, it's in. So he's adding and helping. So he's like, you know, I guess the fifth phantom member of Body Count. And ever since we started fucking with him, the records have gotten better and better and better. And I love working with Will. He's easy to work with. The thing about being a producer, you just have to understand the band. You got to get the joke. You got to know. Like when we were doing Carnivore, I wanted a fucking growl. That's a growl in there. And he was like, well, who's going to growl? I'm like, no man can do this growl. We need a fucking monster growl. So he went on the internet and we found a big lion monster or some shit. And it's, I don't know, we'll probably get sued for it, but that's just whatever. Some internet growl we found. And he just like, yo, that shit's hard as a motherfucker. And then the other day somebody asked me, who is that growl? I'm like, it's a lion that I happen to own.
Exactly. From the personal stash.
Yeah, but you know, it's and then also like from Ice-T, like the sound effects, the gunshots and the sirens and all that. That's just part of the way I like to produce. And he was right with it. And Critical Beatdown is actually like a kung fu fight scene we did. So he gets it. He gets Body Count, and he's gonna be our producer as long as he wants to be.
I mean, he made all these last records sound incredible, but Carnivore bangs so loud. I cannot
so loud,
wait.
Right?
Yes, I cannot wait for everyone to get their hands on it this Friday. We're gonna listen to it a little later. Very soon, I swear to you. You teamed up with Slayer for the Judgment Night soundtrack, one of the best heavy metal and hip hop collaborations of all time. Slayer are gone. Ice-T is still here. Slayer handing over the torch to Body Count, hopefully.
For real, for real.
For many years to come. What was it like working with Slayer and that experience for you?
Well, I got a phone call and they said, yo, you know, they're doing this Judgment Night soundtrack. They're gonna hook up rappers with rock bands. I didn't really, right out the gate, I'm like, well, I already got a rock band. So I kind of felt kind of odd early. Then I'm like, what band? And they said Slayer. I'm like, word?
Stop.
Because I know Slayer doesn't really fuck with people. You know, I mean, there's a limited amount of duets or anything that they've done. So I'm like, what? And they go, so Rick Rubin is producing. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm like, I'm in. So I show up out there and I'm in the studio with Carrie, Tom, everybody's in the studio and they just got the new drummer from Forbidden. And they were doing drum tracks, right? What's that drummer's name?
Oh my God, I don't know.
Paul.
There you go.
So Paul was in there. You know the history. I'm right? I'm correct, right? I don't want to say nothing wrong. This motherfucker was doing some drum tracks. So they like, this is the song. We're doing the exploited record, but we're doing a mashup and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, okay, can I hear the original? And so I hear the original ones, you know, and I'm like, okay, fuck it, that sounds dope. So Tom was like, we gotta rewrite it. We're gonna change this to from whatever to LA 92 when it was the riots. So we kind of co-wrote it. And they were still doing the drum tracks, and then Rick was like, okay, you guys ready? We only been here an hour, like, are we ready?
Throw down.
So but neither of us was backing down. Like, Tom was like, fuck it, Ice, you rap, fuck it. No, nobody's gonna be like the weak one right at that moment. And so he sets two mics up side by side. There's actually pictures of this. And we went in and did LA 92, you know, War, and that shit is wild. And did Disorder, all three of them in a row. We do that in the concerts too. We play them songs.
Awesome.
And it was just a moment. It was a moment. It was crazy though. The night we did it, there was some shit on television and there were some white kids and they were like racist and they had on Slayer shirts. And Kerry was he just thought that was the funniest shit. He's like, wait till they get a load of this track right here.
Hell yeah.
You know, so, I mean, I've always been cool with the band, and when we decided to try to cover Rain in Blood, people say, why is it called Raining in, why did you spell it like that? That's publishing. The publishers won't let you make the exact same name of the song just so they know where the money goes.
Legal bullshit.
Legal bullshit. We know how the fucking record is spelled.
Stop breaking a man's balls, all right?
Fucking, yo, you don't even know how to spell the record. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, you know, so we covered it, and then we had to send the record to them for them to sign off on it. And like I said, they don't sign off on everything. They signed that shit in one day.
Hell yeah.
And, you know, it's just good to be, you know, the thing of it is, coming into rock, it's like coming into rap from somewhere else. Like Eminem coming in, here's a black group coming into rock. Are they posing this, that, and the third? But right out the gate, we got co-signed by Guns N' Roses, Henry Rollins, you know, Ernie produced a Sabbath album, Slayer, you know, all the bad motherfuckers went out on the road with Metallica, performed with Metallica. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you know, Sepultura, you know, we were out there. So once I got the co-sign from all the bad motherfuckers, everybody else could eat a dick. I didn't really give a fuck. I'm like, why I gotta worry about you if Henry Rollins said we dope? Why I gotta worry about you if Slayer says we dope? You motherfuckers need to catch up. Yes. So we had the co-sign of all the important people that I respected right out the gate. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I came up listening to heavy metal and hip hop and worshiping heavy metal and hip hop because I feel like there's a lot of similarities between the two. Hip hop doesn't need to be thrashing me, insane, mad all the time. I like the groove. I like the bass. I like the drums. I feel like there's a lot of that same anger between heavy metal and hip hop. How do you feel the similarities between heavy metal and hip hop correlate with each other to make great music like the Judgment Night soundtrack and like everything by
I never found a music that was more disliked. I thought rap was disliked. People hate metal.
Yes.
Like, metal is rough. That's a rough way to make a living. You know what I'm saying? It's hard out there because they don't play it on the radio. They don't respect it. You know, they called us for the Grammy thing. I'm like, Grammys for body count? What the fuck's the matter with you? This got to be a prank call.
Killed the Grammy.
But, you know, that was a funny night. We went out and we performed on the pre-Grammys, and then they go, okay, come over here. And they bring us around the back, and we saw the trophy right there, and they had the cameras on us, and then they go, and the winner, Mastodon. And the motherfucker took the camera and just shed it. And we're like, what? And then we go to our dressing room, and it was locked. It was fucked up from there on out. But, you know, it's, you know, the Grammys are like, fuck the Grammys, I'm nominated?
Yeah, exactly. Hold on a second.
You know, fuck them. Oh, what? Gonna give me some? So we, you know, it's one of those things. But what was the question?
Heavy metal and hip hop, like the correlation.
Heavy metal and hip hop, it's just same energy. It's at times, you know, hardcore. A lot of like I say, rap was started. You know, Big Beat comes from. Damn, who's Big Beat? I got the big beat. That's a rock person, Billy Squire.
There you go.
So, and then whether we was playing Aerosmith, boom, boom. So we were already using rock beats because they had the best drummer.
Drums, yeah.
Then it just started. I think the closest thing hip hop came unintentionally to rock is New York hardcore.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
When you listen to New York hardcore, they're not singing.
Rapping.
They're not necessarily rapping, but they're belting out lyrics that are syncopated like a rapper. So, you know, it's got a lot of similarities and stuff. But, you know, I think it's basically rage, and I call it hardcore. Yes. Hardcore just means this is how I feel, and if you don't like it, fuck you. That's just hardcore. Yes. If you're trying to make everybody happy and you're trying to be popular, then you're doing pop. You know, Quincy Jones told me pop music's easy. Just sing what everybody wants to hear. But when you say, I'm gonna step out and I'm gonna say how I fucking feel, now you're rocking. And, you know, the heavier you get, it becomes heavy metal. But now it's got, I mean, I've been out with Deicide. It goes to black
Shout
metal.
out Glenn Benton.
And then you get into the motherfuckers from Norway that want to like burn churches and shit. Like those motherfuckers,
I
the Viking motherfuckers, was standing on a ship.
Amon Amarth, hell yeah.
Amon Amarth, right? They were out with
go.
Megadeth. I'm like, these motherfuckers is like on some next level Viking shit, rape and pillage shit.
Like real life, hell yeah, exactly. Scary looking dudes, but the sweetest guys ever on the planet. Would you ever? So that's
I fuck with them. I remember I was hanging out with Glenn Danzig back in the days. Danzig is crazy as fuck.
Can you give me a crazy Danzig story?
Danzig, I remember I don't know. He was like, everybody thinks I'm into Satan and all this shit. You know, that's bullshit. You know, this next song is called "I Am Satan." You know, like what the fuck are you doing, Danzig? Like, you know, so you know, but that's rock and roll. And, you know, behind the stage, whatever you put on the stage, back in catering, everybody's the same. Everybody's like, yo, you rock, what's happening, this, that, and the other. There's a few guys, there's few method rockers. You know how you have method actors? Mm-hmm. You have method rockers. Okay. Like the guys that look like they came out of a cave and they got dirt all over them and they always are in character and they're walking around backstage and people are like, what's the matter with these motherfuckers? They ain't on? Like, what's going on? They're keeping it. That's when keeping it real goes wrong.
Exactly.
But most, you know, everybody I've ever met has been mad cool. They've been very receptive, and when they hit the stage, they just go into their shit and kick ass. And, you know, when they come off, they're people. And that's dope.
Hell yeah. On this new album, Carnivore, coming out this Friday, March 6th. Make sure you get it. Tons of collaboration, not tons of collaboration, but for the last couple of albums.
Is this on TV or some shit?
So it's going to be broadcasted on Facebook for Revolver. Yeah.
Fuck y'all.
I was asking about cursing. They're like, say whatever the hell you want. Like, thank God, it's ice motherfucking tea. I mean,
you can't curse on the internet?
No, you can. Apparently, Apparently, you can. And again, with the, I'd like to embarrass myself. I only just made the correlation with Arizona iced tea and iced tea like 3 minutes before we stepped on the stage.
That has nothing to do with me. I just like great. I just like grape drink. Like I'll drink grape Snapple.
Cheers, man.
If you had some real good Kool-Aid back there, I'd drink that.
All right.
I'm not big in carbonated drinks because I like to drink, sweet juice.
Yeah, we'll put it on the tour rider for
But
next
it
time.
doesn't, Arizona, I wish they'd give me a check. I'll pump them motherfuckers.
You got a
I'm
bunch
not
of
getting paid for that.
Yeah, no Arizona payment here.
Nah.
You guys,
no,
I got a
no
bunch-
free plugs, you motherfuckers.
I want to talk about some of the collaborations on this
Yes,
album.
let's talk.
Because the last couple albums you've had.
Are y'all tired of standing? Is everything cool? Should
Everyone
they
stretch for a
They
minute?
brought seats and folding chairs. Chanel, you okay?
They're New Yorkers. They can
Chanel's
stand.
ready for the music.
Hey, what's up? The whole family's in the house.
She's cool.
tonight.
Let her stay right there, Coco, because she'll steal the fucking show.
Come steal this. Say hi. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Watch it, Coco. She's a motherfucker. Okay.
But you've got legends on your previous albums: Dave Mustaine, Max Cavalera, Randy Bly, and Carnivore comes through just as hard. I mean, I'm not going to ruin anything for you guys. We're going to hear it soon enough. But you got.
I'll tell you who's on it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, everybody that we collaborate with is a friend of the band. We don't go out and reach for people, So Dave Mustaine was a friend of one. I remember one year they asked Dave his favorite albums, 5. He said OG, OG, OG. He named me off all 5. I said, I gotta meet this motherfucker, right? And me and Dave always were friends, and he would always talk about the records, and he says, yo, I gotta be on that record. That's how he got on. Max, we became friends because we went out on, when he was in Sopatura, we performed with them. And Max is wild motherfucker, so he was in Arizona. He's like, I got some shit. And he comes over and he gives us a track, and we like, that shit is dope. And that was how we did the song with Max. Randy was in like rehab or some shit with Ernie. They were friends. Lamb of God, like on the shit. So Randy, like he runs around with his camera and shit. And so he's like, yo, just tell me and I'm in. So all these people are friends of ours. So here we go on the next album. So the first person I think the collab you hear is with me, with Riley from Power Trip.
One of the best songs of the year.
Called Point the Finger.
Point the Finger.
And so I heard about Power Trip before because people said you gotta hear them because they got like heavy body count riffs. So I'm like, okay, so when you're on tour, you don't tour with the same person every crew. So we got to a thing, and I looked at who was at the festival. I'm like, Power Trip's on here. So I go on the stage. I came in just in time to see this motherfucker do one of them wild ass kicks, Texas ass kicks.
Riley, shout outs to Riley.
Riley's the man. So Riley, we got off the stage. He was gassed to see us, and we came into the trailer, and I told you the Riley story.
I mean, if you want to tell everybody the Riley story, that'd be pretty awesome.
Want to hear a fucking funny story? So Riley's road manager is like his brother or somebody, so he's in the room. Now he's in my trailer. I got like 10 big black ex-cons standing at him. And he goes, yeah, Ice, man, man, that Power album, man, I love that Power album. I used to bust bad nuts off that Power album, right? So my son is standing there, and the girl on the cover was my son's mother. So we go, yo, dog. That's his mom's. You never seen a white dude turn so red. His head looked like a blow pop. And he just was like, oh, shit. So we held him for a minute in suspense, then we all started laughing. And he was like, yo, I gotta get, and Riley thought that was the funniest shit. Awesome. So anyway, we got the song together with Riley. It was his idea about the cops shooting people and then flipping it around. And we put the song together, and the shit comes out crazy.
It's guaranteed to be one of the top tracks of 2020.
It got a hard breakdown in it. So you got that. Then, we did the cover we did a tribute. Every year now we do a tribute. Last year we did Slayer. Before that, Suicidal. This time we covered Motorhead, Ace of Spades.
Yes. Rest in peace, Lemmy.
Thank God Lemmy can't sing that good because I had to cover him. So we get the whole idea. So they laid a whole song down identical to Motorhead, and they go sing. I'm like, I forgot I was going to have to sing this shit.
He hit some notes.
And I sung it, and you'll hear it. Ace of Spades by Ice-T. But it's a true tribute. We didn't change it in any way. We played it the way they played it out of respect. Mick Benzo in the building. So we did that. Who else we got on there?
Amy Lee.
Amy Lee.
That song. A little singing from Ice-T.
Some wow. Well, no, she sung.
Well, you got a little like harmony thing that you kind of do that I was like, this is some new stuff from Ice-T. You'll hear it eventually, but it's...
Oh, yeah. When I'm gone. Now, that song, a song I wrote after Nipsey Hussle passed, and everybody, he sold out the Staples Center in 2 hours for a tribute. And I was like, well, that's great, but could he have sold it out when he was alive? Like, people love to wait and then show their love when you're gone. What about while you're alive? So it kind of motivated me to write the song. Then Vince, he said, I got Amy Lee to sing. I'm like, how the fuck did you meet Amy Lee? Like, don't worry about it. Got this shit. And she killed it.
Yes.
So she took the song from what I thought was a 100 to a 200, and then she wrote me a beautiful email saying that she lost somebody too soon. So both of us sung that song from our heart, which is a very rare moment when two people are really singing from their heart about similar experiences. So that's a hot song. And then of course Jamey Jasta, who is just hard. I met Jamey Jasta when he used to host MTV. And he's just always been the coolest motherfucker. When I first met him, I'm like, yo, your group's called Hatebreed. What is that, the Klan, motherfucker? Like, what is Hatebreed, my nigga? You know? And then once I got to know Jamey, I found out he couldn't be further from a racist, further from that bullshit. And he's just a hardcore ear I've always kept close. And, you know, my name on Twitter is Final Level. So he's like, I got this hook. I'm on another level, and we put this song together. I wrote all the words. He does the hook along with me, and it's a banger. It's a banger. So those are the people. So it's three people.
Yeah, on this album.
And then there's some other little treats on there, unexpected shits. So
is there anybody you're looking to collaborate with in the future that you haven't? Amon Amarth, possibly, or like something like that.
The Vikings?
Yeah, I mean, Viking Ice-T?
Fuck this. I don't know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, I got into Power Trip just this year. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, if I see somebody that I fucking like. You know what group I like, though? I've already done with Upon a Burning Body.
Yes.
You know,
did a song with them.
We did Turn Down for What, but I like that band. And I've never seen a motherfucking mosh pit go around the fucking soundboard. You know, they moved the fucking crowd all the way around the back of the soundboard. I was like, we gotta go on after these motherfuckers. Like, what the fuck? You know, and Danny and them are good guys, and, you know, hopefully we'll do some shows with them. But, you know, we'll see. You know, it's all next year. We'll see who steps up.
How do you find out about these bands? Like, do you have someone feeding you inside information? Do you have like a playlist you listen to? Like, what's your source for finding cool new metal bands like Power Trip?
People tell me, like, yo, check this band out. Or when you're on festivals.
Yes.
You know, I'm the guy that's at everybody else's show. Because I hate backstage. Backstage sucks.
Boring as shit, right?
It's nasty. It's usually muddy. It's not cool. So I'm running, you know, when we were out on Mayhem, I'm running to see Cannibal Corpse. I'm running over here to see, you know, these bands, Suicide Silence. I'm trying to, how the fuck is this motherfucker scream like this? He's shrieking. Yep. The fuck?
Get some Ice-T
so I'm learning, you know, from the good bands, I'm learning what to do. The bands that suck, I'm learning what not to do. Like, okay, these motherfuckers gotta learn. They can't do that shit no more. The crowd just walked the fuck off. So I'm watching, and I'm a student. So, you know, I can't tell you what the next band is I'm gonna be on. You know, Power Trip for this year.
And I want to get into the covers that you have, not only from Ace of Spades on this brand new album, Carnivore. You actually cover yourself, essentially. There are Ice-T songs, classics, that have been remade into metal anthems by Body Count.
Now that happened because every time we do our full show, people are like, yo, 6 in the morning, somebody's always out there yelling, colors. And we don't have them in the set list. So Vince was like, we should cover a couple of your songs just so we got them to play. So we do, for an album, we did 18 songs. I don't like albums that last over 40 minutes. This is one of my things. Like an album, an old school album lasts 40 minutes. I don't like albums that last 70, 80, because you never get to hear the last songs. When you're driving, it keeps starting from the beginning, so you're kind of burying a song in the back. So I'm like, I'd rather have the record end and start again. That's just me. I'm trying to be cheap. It's just my artistic bullshit. So we went down, we said 10 songs. And we did colors, and we did 6 in the morning. When we asked, because what I do when I make a record, I use focus groups. I'll let you listen, and I'll say, what's your favorite records? Give me 3. What's yours? So we check, and those records kept popping up. I said, fuck it. So we put colors on the album and 6 in the morning as a bonus track. So we can perform them on shows.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see you. You guys are playing live March 15th here in New York City at Webster Hall.
That's going to be bananas.
Get your ass out with the Cro-Mags.
That's going to be bananas.
You got End. It's going to be an insane show.
Yeah.
We're going to get into the album in a minute. Before we go, I want to talk about Twitter. You are the only reason to have Twitter. I love when people cry and complain and whine, and it's Ice-T, final level, retweet, comment. Shut up, bitch. It's the best. You're probably dealing with trolls all day long and just telling.
You could tell when people are trolling. So I this year I started just muting and delete. I don't go after everybody because they want it. Mm-hmm. Like to some people, blocking them, that's a victory. Yeah. That's a weird life they live. Like, oh, Ice-T blocked me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get you no pussy though, but it's some weird like shit. Yeah. You know. But no, I'm on there. Like, I like Twitter because I used to have a fan club, and I would take letters and I would read letters and I would reply. So what I've done, I created the final level Twitter gang because I realized when I got on Twitter it was going to be mob rules. Whoever had the most powerful clique would control Twitter. So anytime someone says something stupid, I block them. If we was in the street, pow. But right now, you know, you don't talk when the boss is talking. You talk, oh, yeah, you can get it. Wow, bam. So even a bad joke can get you blocked. But I still managed to get close to 1.5 million people. And you just don't speak out of turn. You don't say shit. And I keep it really well trimmed. But every once in a while, somebody breaks.
Act stupid.
And like they could say some dumb shit like Ice-T, you suck. You're whatever. And I can just retweet it and go, really? And the final level Twitter gang handles the business. Yeah. Most of the time it ends up with them deleting their page. It ends up bad.
Moving to another country.
Ends up bad because I'm not on there for that. I'm on there to talk to my fans, reply back to them, keep them updated to things that are happening. And if you do that and you weed out all the bullshit, it can be very productive. I dig it. I like it. So the people that are there, I will reply to them. I interact. But every once in a while, somebody gets. We have the dumb fuck of the day, and you know, it's not a PG site. I'd say wear a helmet. It says for adult. It's just adult content. So, but you know, Twitter is fun. It's tech. I'm not big into Instagram because I don't believe everything deserves a picture. Mm-hmm. So I like, you know, that's the way I communicate.
Ice-T's voice is meant to be heard, and Twitter is for hearing the voice, definitely.
Well, I just want those who want it to be able to hear it. If you don't, go follow Oprah or some bullshit. I don't give a fuck.
Yo, you retweeted her busting her ass, and it was so funny.
No, I said the funny shit is when she bounced, like she landed on her stomach and bounced right over to her ass. I never saw nothing like that. Like her stomach was boom, boom. She rolled over. I was like, that's what's funny to me. And then she's yelling, "This is the shoes." She's falling. Bitch, fuck out of here, Oprah. Oprah never liked rap. She never would let a rapper on the stage. She had a problem with Ludacris when he was in the movie. What was the movie they were in with Traffic? right? And he was in it and got Academy Awards. She didn't want him on the stage. So fuck that bitch. We ain't got no issue, you know, fuck Oprah.
Hey, man.
Like, you know, I mean, like, I don't understand, like, certain people, you know, you say some shit, then you expect people to love and respect you. You know what I'm saying? You coming against something that really, there would be no Ice-T. If there was no hip-hop, there would be no Body Count. There would be no Ice-T on TV. So that's very dear to me, you know, and it's saved a lot of people's lives. Music has saved a lot of people's lives that would never,
this room included,
would never fucking been able to find a job in the real world. We've created something that artists can kind of like survive and thrive on with our weird asses. It's kind of a beautiful thing. So I'm very protective about it, you know? As I should be.
Hell yeah, and I'm very protective of metal and hip hop. I'm very excited for us to check out this brand new Body Count album, Carnivore.
I don't see no speakers. Oh, you got speakers.
We got big speakers over on the left and on the right. I want to thank you for hosting the Heavy Metal Hip Hop Weekend.
Are you gonna play this loud or are you gonna play pussy loud?
I think we should play it loud.
Let's play it loud.
I want to thank you for hosting the Heavy Metal Hip Hop Weekend we're doing on Liquid Metal this coming week around the new Body Count album, Carnivore. Make sure you pick it up on March 6th.
Yeah.
Make sure you check them out March 15th. At Webster Hall with the Cro-Mags. It's coming out on Century Media Records. Shout out to Century Media Records. Thank you to the whole Sony fam for having us.
Yes,
thank you guys.
Sony.
My
Enjoy
man
it.
Ice-T. Make sure you follow everybody
Big
on
J
social.
Scorsese in the building.
Shout out to Revolver Magazine, at Final Level Ice-T. I'm at Shawn the Butcher. And this has been a goddamn pleasure. Thank you, everybody.
Peace,
Thank
Shawn.
you, guys. Body Count,
The
Carnivore,
Butcher.
out March 6th. Shout out to Revolver.
Gangsta shit.